You know where you should go. Go to Hale.
Welcome to One Hale of a podcast, sponsored you by Hale Law Action Attorneys. I'm your host, Patrick Hale, and today we have someone named Maxwell Shrem. Max, take it to the max, whatever you want to call him.
Mm-hmm.
So you're an attorney here at Hale Law, right?
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too. You were as of before this podcast.
That's
we'll see
correct.
How it goes after the podcast.
That's correct.
So keep it cool. And we'll talk a little bit about that, but really there's something more interesting about you than the fact that you're an attorney, at least in my opinion.
Okay.
And you know what it is, right?
I think so.
What is it?
There's a lot of interesting things about me. Guessing you're going to speak, though, about my sports card hustle, business, hobby, collection, whatever terminology we're going to use here.
Yeah, I'd call it more than a hobby at your level. But let's start off some stuff. Where are you from originally, Max?
So I was born in New York. My family moved us. When I say us, I mean my brother, myself, out to Florida when I was about 5 years old. So I was raised in Boca Raton and spent the majority of my life there.
Okay, and let's talk about why'd you become an attorney before we get to the fun stuff.
Okay.
Obviously, we all have our origin stories as why
Sure.
we became an attorney. What's yours?
Mine is very simple. Is my grandpa's dream was to be an attorney, and he was attempting to go through law school and went to college, and as he was preparing to go to law school, he gets called into World War II,
Oh wow.
and that kind of threw a wrench in his plans. So two of my cousins became attorneys, and I always aspired to be part of their group, I would call it. And I knew that they were following my grandpa's dream, and it was my goal to also fulfill his dream and have him live vicariously through me. Unfortunately, my grandpa passed away while I was in law school, so he never got to see me actually graduate past the bar. But just wanting to do it for my grandpa is why I fell in love with law.
Yeah. Wow. It's a deep story. Usually people are like, oh, I just want to make money or something like that.
No.
And I could say your grandfather, he'd be proud. One hell of attorney.
I hope so.
Yeah. Max is crushing it here at Hale Law. Really getting the max for the clients. But so you become an attorney. Were your cousins older than you?
Yeah.
Okay. How old are they?
They have to be in their late 30s, early 40s now.
Okay.
So
Nice. I never even heard about them. What type of law do they practice?
So my one cousin is in-house.
Okay.
Not really sure what she does, but she told me she works on a lot of document preservation, things of that nature.
Yeah.
And then my other cousin is a corporate attorney. Does a lot of contracts, mergers and acquisitions, things of that nature. And they're both up north. I believe one of them's in New Jersey while the other's in New York.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet. Did you use any of them for any of your business deals, the corporate attorney?
No. Not yet. We're not at that size yet.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so let's get into your card business. This is something when I first found it out, when you were interviewing, you might have mentioned it then, or it might have been when we went to lunch and played pickleball.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy, he interviews, crushes it. I'm like, oh, well, let's meet up. Come to find out, you're moving in my neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
That was funny.
That was weird.
That
It
was
was definitely weird.
The exact same street, and that was a huge surprise. He drives by my house every single day. He'll text me, hey, Hale, you haven't left your house yet. I'm beating you to the office.
I more so ask if I should pick up his dog and bring her to work.
Yeah, so he has started watching my dog, Winnie, Hale Law's law dog that you might have seen on some of our social media if you check that out. But he watched her when I went on vacation, I think twice already now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and every time he watches her, he brings her in the office. The staff likes her pretty much.
It boosts the morale at the office. I will definitely say that.
Yeah, so anyways, so he drives by, texts me all the time. But anyways, first time we met after the interview over Zoom, we're going, we play pickleball, right? And who's better at pickleball?
I think myself, being that we won, but
we were playing doubles, just to be clear. I think we both objectively know who's better.
We'll let the pros determine that one.
All right, we're gonna have to record this and put it on social media. We'll be doing that. Stay tuned in social media land. We're gonna be doing a video of pickleball challenge between Max and myself.
Hale Law pickleball tournament.
We should. We'll get something going. But So, anyways, we go out to lunch, and I think that's when you told me about your card business potentially. Tell the listeners what you told me. You made it sound modest.
Well, it is modest.
Everything is relative, right?
Everything is relative in life. It's really just a hobby that I had my whole life. When I say my whole life, I've been going to card shows since I'm 5. And it was something I really just did throughout college, through law school, even now throughout my adult life. So it was a hobby that turned business, and I saw a financial opportunity there, and I went for it. But there's still a collector deep inside of me. There's a lot of things I collect myself. That's it.
Let's talk about some of these cards. So what are your main things you collect and sell? Obviously, you're buying stuff at a certain price. You sell it, try to get profit. Doesn't always work that way. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. Tell us about like the main things you're buying and selling.
Sports cards are typically my primary focus. Now, obviously, there's trading card games such as Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Pokemon. I should have kept all my cards from middle school.
Definitely should have. Yeah, you might not be an attorney though if you.
What does a holographic Charizard go for?
Oh my god!
Those were like printed so much.
Well, there's a few different variations. So you have the holographic Charizard.
I had the Japanese version one.
Okay.
That was the cheaper version, I'm pretty sure.
It's definitely
Everyone
the cheaper version. But of the American version, there's still 3 different ones. So you have the base set Charizard, which is the holo from 1999. There's the shadowless, which the right border is a little more faint, which is just a rarer print of the card. And then you, of course, have the first edition, which is stamped on the lower left part of Charizard's picture, which also includes the shadowless border.
How much does that go for?
Depends on the condition.
Great condition.
One's in high condition, like a PSA 10.
Yeah, whatever PSA 10 is.
PSA 10 would be, so PSA is the prominent grading company. They would be considered the pinnacle of it, such as Hale Law in Sarasota for personal injury firms. But PSA would be the primary company, with a 10 being their perfect score on their metrics. A PSA 10 of that Charizard is a 6-figure card. I'm not sure where it falls in that range, but it's definitely 6 figures.
Man.
Yeah.
I don't even know what time. I think I had a Japanese. What does the Japanese one go for?
I have no idea.
With the Japanese writing on it.
I have no. Definitely a pretty penny.
Yeah.
But not quite as high as the American first edition.
What's the most valuable Pokemon card you've ever had? From a monetary standpoint,
right.
Not from an emotional standpoint. We all loved our Pokemon cards.
Oh, and I still
Those are ones I slept with.
Oh yeah.
I put them in my bed. I was little. I was like, oh, put them over here, stack them in
100%.
the card holders. What's most monetarily speaking, best Pokemon card?
And I'll never forget where I was. I went to a card show up in Clearwater area, just a couple hours north of here. And I was at that card show, and some person had a set of the base set Charizard, Venusaur, and Blastoise.
I remember I had Blastoise and Venusaur.
So these were not the shadowless ones. They were just the base set, and I believe they were all graded a PSA 9, which is the second highest grade that PSA awards. And I bought these cards for $6,000, I believe, for the 3. And within 7 days, the 3 were up to $9,000.
Wow. That's a quick turnaround.
14 days, they're up to $12,000.
Oh, you didn't sell.
21 days, they're up to $15,000. These things just kept climbing. All of a sudden, the 3 cards were at $18,000, and I have them for like a month. But I said to myself, why would I sell this? This is
your childhood.
I said no, but I was like, this is the best appreciable asset I've ever bought. When you're getting a 300x return on your investment within a month, I mean, it was going to 400x before I knew it, 500x.
But it doesn't always work that way.
Well, what happened was I held them, and I think I ended up taking about a $500 loss on all 3 cards.
Yeah.
So
I think we talked about that before.
That was within a 90-day window as well.
So like if you're trading stock or you're a day trader or something, there's things you can look at, the fundamentals. They have to post, the earning reports of their business, everything else. These cards, are they more stable than Bitcoin? You didn't know I was going to ask that one. What's the answer?
I'm not a believer in cryptocurrency.
Yeah,
I
don't endorse it either.
I don't understand it, so that's why I stay out of it. So the stability of a coin where you don't know who created it or how many of it there truly could be. Heck, we don't even know the true owners of the bulk of the coin. I can't comment as to the stability because I forgot the Satoshi, I believe is the guy's name, with the
Yeah.
biggest wallet
Yeah.
or whatever
The
it is.
whale, they call him.
Well, what happens if that person just activates their wallet and dumps that much Bitcoin out into the public?
You get inflation of Bitcoin.
So I don't know what's going to happen as far as stability. So
tell me about
I
the
don't know
cards.
enough.
I'm asking questions about the cards.
yeah, I don't know enough about that.
How do you know when to buy or sell? Is there a way, or is it sort of like, you lick your fingers, stick it, hold it up, and feel which way the wind's blowing? How do you know?
So a lot of times, especially from we'll talk about from a short term hold perspective, and how do you know the entry point to the exit point on a 1-year investment? Typically, you don't, because they're athletes. Anything could happen. So we'll take the most popular football player in the game today would probably be Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
There is no saying that Patrick Mahomes goes out there in week 1 and sustains a significant leg injury or a significant arm injury, which could limit his whole season and then his card prices. And then the angle that I take to cards, which is to negate that, is I don't buy players such as Patrick Mahomes. Because to me, you already have so much baked into their pricing. MVP, Super Bowls, winning games, things of that nature. The better approach that I found is to buy the backup quarterbacks.
So you buy low and sell high. You're getting those penny stocks.
Right, but I'm also not maximizing what I could get, because this happened last season. Jordan Love of the Green Bay Packers goes down week 1.
All
And
right.
I believe it was a Monday night. I think it was a Thursday night football game. It could have been week 2. And Jordan Love goes down and comes in Malik Willis, who's the backup for the Packers. I didn't wait to see how Malik Willis was going to perform. I didn't care if he went off and threw for 500 yards and 10 touchdowns. It was just, here's a window to sell. I'm going to make X amount of profit on my investment.
So you were selling his cards, so you already had them.
Exactly. So I had them before this happens.
All right. So, it's, yeah, I see what you're saying. It's sort of like it's just like spotting the next trend, but with cards.
Yes,
and
but-
with players.
But there's also downsides to that,
All
because
right.
I'll use the local team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
All right.
I
I
went
go
to-
Bucks.
I won't say that.
I will. Who do you cheer for?
The Dolphins.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I think I've seen some of your Dolphins stuff.
Yeah, I'm a big Dolphin.
Yeah. No one's perfect. Good attorney.
Yes.
Grade A cards. Dolphin fan.
Well, this year we'll get a Super Bowl. I'm already living
We'll
on.
see about that.
I'm already living up in the sky on my.
So are you
Gators
already buying
championship.
some memorabilia since you know the Dolphins are going to win a Super Bowl?
Of course,
You are?
of course.
So do you think, since you like the Dolphins, it hurts your ability to make more money in the memorabilia space simply because you're biased and they're probably going to lose anyways?
So as I alluded to, I still love the collectability aspect of the business, of the industry. So I don't mind if I don't make money on something or if I lose money. So Tyreek Hill is one of my favorite players because of his talent. If he doesn't amount to anything and I lose 40% on my investment, I'm still happy with what I bought. So there's no
So
negativity.
yeah, so you're happy, you just have some inexpensive pieces of paper
Sure.
that give you happiness. What's
Yeah.
happiness for it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So so I know you have the cards, you do some other stuff. What's the coolest, most random thing that people would never expect for you to have, either signed or memorabilia? What's something weird? 'Cause I know you have some weird stuff. I did see the Jersey Shore thing.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Who was it? The Situation. I like the Jersey Shore.
Mhm.
Sometimes I like trash TV. So you have some weird stuff. What's the weirdest thing you have?
Well, there's a company called Leaf, and Leaf is one of my favorite card manufacturers in the industry. And what they do, which is very cool, is that they'll bring cards to life that you would never expect. So a few months ago, I'd say about 8 months ago now, they released signed cards of the Rizzler. And if you don't know who the Rizzler is, he's a social media sensation. He's 8 years old.
I don't know who he is.
He's 8 years old.
I don't go on social media a lot.
He's friends with the Costco guys. You know, we bring the boom.
No.
Uh-huh.
I know Costco, the company, the club.
We need to educate
I'm a member of
Mr.
the
Hale.
club, Costco.
We need to educate Mr.
All right,
Hale.
I'll have to watch some social media videos. I don't know.
But an 8-year-old kid, they brought his cards to life. They brought cards to life of Livy Dunn, who's a gymnast, I guess now an ex-gymnast, who's famous now just for her social media presence and dating Paul Skeens.
There's
I have a
another
bunch of
card that I
cards.
think you're about to talk about. I think I've seen it on your desk before.
Which one is that?
Yeah, I think it's probably one of those valuable cards, at least to Hale Law.
Okay.
It's Attorney Max Shrem's leaf card. And what is it? It's a 1 of 50 edition or something?
So
You know him,
I
so
have-
what'd you get done?
Right. So I have a few cards on my desk. So I wasn't sure which one you were going to be alluding to. But the card of myself was something that Leaf did. I almost think it was in good gesture. I have a good relationship with the people there, and they're run by fantastic humans, which is more important than anything else.
Yeah.
And I think that brings to their success. But in good gesture, they made me my own run of cards, and I was able to keep a few of those. So I have the number to 50 version on my desk. It might be number to 49 of my own card, and it's got me in a suit as an attorney. So it's very
It's
cool.
official from a real card collecting company.
It's official. So I actually have the 1 of 1 of the card as well. And I've been so scared to send it out to grading because I don't want it to get lost in the mail.
Oh, so you're sending my card. We'll get to that.
We'll get to
Lost
that.
in the mail. Hold on. We'll talk about that in a little bit. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
So anyways, you don't want to lose your cards and send them out to grading. Explain to everyone what grading is. I learned about this
Sure.
after hanging out with you and, the story to come.
So the grading companies typically put that scale of a 1 to 10 on the cards. Now, PSA only goes off a full point up until 8.5. So they'll do 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, etc. till 8.5. Then it's only 9 and then a 10. So there's no 9.5 half scale between those two numbers. And within those numbers, PSA will assess a grade on that scale. The grade comes down to the condition of the card, nothing else. Not the.
Is it authenticity as well?
They'll authenticate. They won't slab something, which is the process of.
You're
putting
using
it
all
into-
these terms.
Well, and I'm explaining.
All right.
So it's putting
Slab it.
the
What does slab it mean?
putting the card within a case. A
I
graded
see it,
folder.
and then it has that little thing that I see on your cards with like metal or something at the top.
No, that's a magnet case.
Oh, that's a magnet. Oh, I didn't
That's a
know.
little different.
Okay, I thought I was getting magnet cases on my cards.
No, you don't want the magnet cases.
No.
No.
Okay.
Well, you want
why?
them for. Well,
Why don't you want a magnet case?
well, you would if it for a non-graded card, but it's better to get it graded. It enhances the value, especially when the grade is higher. So the higher the grade, the more valuable the card gets.
Yeah.
But the grade isn't given to a card based on the value of it. It's simply based off the condition. And the 4 metrics that they look at are the corners of the card, see if they're symmetrical, to see if they're squared as opposed to rounded, things of that nature. The edges, see if there's any chipping, edge wear, gashes, the centering of the card, which would be, if it's within a white bordered window, how the card fits within that border.
Man, I hope this doesn't bore listeners. I think it's interesting. Okay, and
Well-
what's the 4th thing? And then I'll remind you of the 5th one. But go. What's the 4th
fifth
thing?
one,
I'll tell you what the 5th one is. But what's the 4th
corners, edges, centering, and surface. So scratches, gashes, hole punches.
one? Ah, that was the
Things-
5th one. That was the 5th one. You guys are gonna hear why while we're talking about hole punches.
Yeah.
But that's what I was gonna say. The 5th one was.
Mhm.
So, the most random thing I think was my question. I don't know how we got off on a tangent, but what's the most random thing you've ever had that you like? Oh, you mentioned your card. Was that the answer?
Yeah, that's
It was
gotta
your
be.
card? Okay, besides your
Yeah.
card, I love your card. It's great. But something that other people might find interesting. Maybe they'll find that interesting.
Well, I'm just going to
I
say.
don't want to take away. I think it was interesting. You have
Sure,
your card. I thought
sure,
it was
sure.
great when I first saw it. But random thing, something just no one would ever think of.
I'm actually just going to go and tell you what my favorite card is because it's kind of interesting in its own capacity. It is.
All right, what is it?
So my girlfriend's cousin is a pitcher for the Cleveland Guardians.
Okay.
And he made his debut for Arizona back in 22 or 23, I believe. Now, what Topps did, and Topps is the biggest card
Everyone
company.
knows Tops. Yeah.
Right. So what Topps did it wasn't for him specifically, but during his rookie season, was they had players who were making their debuts wear a special patch on their sleeve of their jersey, which says MLB debut. Now, at the end of the game, there was actually a Topps representative that stopped him as he was walking off the field and said, "Come here," pulled the patch off and kept it. That patch that he wore in his debut game went into a card that he then signed and then into a pack. Now, it's a 1 of 1 card. There's only one in the world.
How did you get it?
I spent, when I tell you, hundreds of hours stalking the internet to see when this card was pulled. There was an Excel tracker that was shared across the platform that said, tracking each time this card was pulled. And I kept refreshing. All of a sudden, something came up.
So you went in the World Wide Web.
Yes.
And you found this one specific card.
Correct.
Because it had meaning to you. It was
Correct.
someone you knew.
Correct.
Say his name so you can make all his other cards more valuable.
I know, we have to.
With the millions of listeners we have here on our podcast, say his name. That way everyone wants to buy him.
Yes.
And then it'll make your card more valuable. What's his name?
So his name is Slade Ciccone. He's a starting pitcher for Cleveland. He's been playing great.
Is he any good?
Yeah, he's been playing great.
Okay.
He just pitched a 7-inning game with 2 earned runs, I believe, last week.
Okay.
So definitely getting some steam this season.
Nice,
cool.
nice. All right, so that's cool. So that could be. It probably didn't cost that much either, since no one knew who he was. But it had
relative.
It had the logo
Yeah.
on the sleeve, so maybe it was more valuable.
It was definitely pricey, but I wanted it, and that's where the collectability comes in.
Yeah, and so that's one of those ones. It could be big or it could be a bust. You just got to wait and see.
That's it.
How well he plays, and hopefully he plays well.
Hopefully he plays well.
Yeah, and if not, at least you know him, and so it's something cool to hang on the wall.
I spoke to him about it over Christmas, and I said,
What did he say?
I said, what if? This card becomes nothing? He says, I'll pay what you paid for it. So
He wants it to. It means something not only to you, but it
risk-free.
means something to him.
Risk-free investment.
There you
Those are
go.
the best ones to make.
So I know that you are, into the card business. One day we're hanging out, and I'm like, "Hey, my dad has some old baseball cards, and I wanted to know what they're worth. I didn't know what they were. It was just an old box. We went through a couple boxes. They were all tops from the 90s. Apparently, if you have those cards, unless they're special ones, they're not worth anything. Those are mine. But my dad had some in a box, and I've actually found, that picture I found? I said I think it was my Aunt Kathy.
Mm-hmm.
It was my Aunt Kathy.
That's awesome.
So we found that among some other memorabilia just thrown in with baseball cards.
Yeah.
But anyways, you search them. What do you find? You find some good ones, right?
That was a very interesting experience because I've done that before for people your age. And,
What do you mean my age?
10 years older than me.
Yeah.
Okay. And a lot of the cards are 90s, and it was just very overproduced in that era. So Hale brings out this box, and I'm like, oh, these are my good cards. I'm like, I don't think they're too good here.
Yeah, I
Mr.
thought
Hale.
they were good. Apparently, they were.
But we looked through that box, and I was like, okay, you don't have anything. I'm sorry. He goes, well, what about this box? I got it from my dad.
It was after we went through
So-
every other box. We went
Every
through
other
4
box.
boxes.
And he opens this box, and it has a smell of a box that hasn't been opened in 30 years.
I remember you were like this. You were like, oh, these smell good. He's like, he has the nose scent for these cards. He's like, oh yeah, these are good. He starts picking them up, smelling them, and he's like, I'm like, dude.
These are the ones that were sitting in the attic for decades.
They were.
That were just, he pulled the box out. Within this box are
Mickey
cards
Mantles?
from the 50s and 60s of Mickey Mantle,
A couple of them.
Roberto Clemente,
Yeah.
Nolan Ryan, Sandy Koufax, I believe, had a couple cards in there.
There were some Sandy.
Well, not Ryan. Ryan was in
I was
your
about to
stack.
say, those were the
That
stacks
was
I
your
thought
rack.
were good, but you
Yeah.
said they weren't any good.
That was in your stack.
I got them outside of a Walmart
But-
when I was in elementary school.
But there were some great finds, and of course, I don't know everything about cards from that era. There could have been other great finds that I just skipped over. But
I know I need to go through them.
yeah,
You show me, just check them on eBay and see what they're worth.
Mr. Hale has his work cut out.
He was, oh yeah, there's a lot of cards. But anyways, so some of these cards are actually halfway decent,
Yeah.
$400 or $500 cards.
Correct.
You send them to get graded. When you were talking about getting lost in the mail, are you mailing these cards?
So I don't personally mail them. They go through a third-party company who then mails them to PSA, and it's only a couple states away in California, so it's not too far.
So you're mailing mine. What do you do with yours? You
I
personally?
mail them as well.
Oh, so you did end up mailing yours.
So the story of mine
Because
is
now I'm
that-
like, what? My cards, my dad's cards are getting lost.
So there's a card show at the end of this month that I actually go to, and it's a couple-day show. And at this show, they grade on site the cards.
Does it cost extra?
A bit more, yes.
Yeah, I have to pay for the grading. I want to put them in my office. So, all right. Well, we'll talk about that.
We'll
after.
talk about
See,
that.
I'd rather have it safe. If it's not too much more.
They'll be. I haven't had an issue but I have to present the possibility that anything could occur.
Well, I appreciate you
Of course.
presenting it on a podcast and not before.
Anytime.
So anyways, yeah, I got some cool memorabilia that's going to be coming to the office. But he mentioned the hole punch because I was telling him, he was looking at him as he's sniffing. I'm like, oh, these are good. I'll put that on the mic. And he's just sniffing them. He's like, what's this? He's like, your dad was hole punching your cards. And I'm like, oh yeah, those are my dad's cards. The other one are Pat's cards. So I was named after Patrick Hale, my uncle, who passed away. But my dad I always remember him talking about it. I never really went through his cards with him. But he's like, always hole punch mine. That way Pat couldn't steal them. So I was like, man, they gotta be worth more because they have a whole history. I'm sure he wasn't the only one to hole punch cards. What are some weird ways you've seen like brothers or different people mark their cards so other people didn't steal them?
Well, first of all, let me tell the audience what you said. Mr. Hale wanted to sell them as sets. When there was two in the same card, he goes, "Oh, sell them as the brother set. One with the hole punch, one with that."
I was
so you did say that.
Yeah. I thought that was a pretty good idea. Good marketing tactic.
Yeah.
Obviously, I just want to keep them. But.
Well, my brother too. My brother's 18 months younger than me, so we did a lot of the collecting together growing up, and we didn't do anything to distinguish whose cards were who because we just kept them in separate areas. But man, if he bought a card, I wasn't allowed to buy the same card, and vice versa. If I bought a card. We grew up massive Heat fans. So if we bought a rookie card of Dwayne Wade, he wasn't allowed to buy the same card. Why we did that, I don't know.
It seems like a decent system. Everyone's got their own systems. Hole punching, don't buy the same cards.
That was it.
The fear of threats of imminent danger and bodily harm. That probably, I imagine, might have happened.
Could have. There were definitely fights.
They're brothers.
Yeah.
Whatever. So... anything else you want to leave the listeners before we bring up a Florida man story in the news? Tell us something about cards. Anything else you want to talk about?
Side hustle. Being a lawyer is the main hustle.
Yeah.
That's what I'll call it.
This guy is in the office till 8:00 at night a lot of nights. And I see him working on the weekends, sending me emails. I've asked you before, how do you find the time to do this? Obviously it's not it's your side hustle.
Sure.
How do you find the time?
I think it's more so my mentality of anything I do, I just want to do to the best of my capacity. Now, of course, I'm not saying I'm going to be the biggest or best card dealer in the world, but I at least have to try to do so. And same with being an attorney. I'm going to try to be the best. Even if it's not feasible, I still don't want to live life saying I didn't try my best. So when I'm not in the office, I obsess over the other. And when I'm in the office, I obsess over law. And finding the time to do something that I love isn't that hard to do. It's not a grind. It's not something I don't look forward to. I actually enjoy going and doing that work, even though it is legitimate work. Shipping items, listing items, there's nothing fun about doing that. But sure. I just have fun being around the environment and the people I do it with too. Really help.
That makes sense to me. I like coming to work, so I love coming to the office. So now time for let's redo that. Record that, delete that. I know it's staying in, it's a podcast. But anyways, let's start over. Now for the Florida Man Law segment. So Max, we look up different news stories and we ask our guests to tell us something, however they feel about it. So this one, local news, this is out of Volusia County. Florida man accused of stealing gator from golf course and threw it around to teach it a lesson. To teach it lessons in quotes. Essentially backstory, guy goes to mini golf. We don't know why he went to the mini golf, but how they have those alligators. He went in, jumped in, grabbed one of them. He was hitting it on the floor. Obviously that's animal cruelty, which he was charged with. And then the cops found it on a roof. He threw it on a roof. What do you think about this guy? What are your thoughts?
If I was to give him one word.
One word.
Schmuck.
Schmuck. What's a schmuck?
You're gonna have
Can
to
you
ask.
please define that?
Yeah, you're gonna have to ask my grandma who speaks Yiddish what a schmuck is. Just not a very smart or bright individual though.
Yeah, so he faced some criminal charges. Where was it? I saw it in here. Essentially, it was burglary because he went into when you go to someone else's property and commit a crime therein. So commit a crime, get a burglary, and then also you're not allowed to touch a alligator, essentially capture an alligator.
Mhm.
So he got charged with that. Weird Florida man story. You guys should see this mugshot. Can I show this to the camera? Here's the mugshot. I don't know if you got that. Maybe we'll get you a digital to put up. But definitely looks like he's been in more than one fight with an alligator. What do you think?
Definitely.
What do you think this alligator did? He said he had to teach it a lesson. They don't say in the article. What do you think it could be?
What did the alligator do to cause
Apparently, he was teaching the alligator a lesson.
this guy must be a Seminole fan.
That's
it.
Yeah, he went to Florida State.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, there you go. So my partner, Patrick Hale, went to FSU, so hopefully he doesn't try to teach any alligators a lesson.
I sure hope not. We need him around here.
Yeah. Plus, I don't think they're being the Gators anytime soon.
Hope not.
And that's where you went to law school as well.
It is, yep.
All right. How do I end these things? I always forget. These are new episodes. But anyways, we're gonna have some great ones coming here. We appreciate Maxwell Shrem. Give a shout out to any of the people in the industry, the card industry, you want to give a last shout out to?
I'll shout out Leaf. Leaf does a great job. CJ Breen, Josh Panko, those are great guys out there. Shout out my buddy Lance that I do a lot of work with. My brother Ben I do some work with. So just great individuals in the hobby altogether.
All right. Well, you heard from Maxwell Shrem. This is One Hale of a podcast. We're signing off and brought to you by Hale Law Action Attorneys.
You know